Hi, Shay. Thank you so much for
Hello.
taking the time to chat with me today. My name is Kristen, and on my site and on my social channels, Gen Y Mama, I talk about family entertainment and especially TV for children. So I'm very excited to celebrate the release of Monster High Season 1 on DVD. So,
Great.
yay!
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to meet you.
So, what was it about the world of Monster High that made you really want to, I'll say, sink your fangs into
We love a pun in Monster High. Please keep them coming. Um, the original Monster High that was released in 2010 had just such this beautiful, innate core message about inclusion and diversity, and really Monster High as a place where everyone, no matter who you are, belongs. So that was something as I was getting into this new version really resonated with me and was something that I wanted to bring to even more to the forefront as we were developing this new series and really showcase how inclusion and authenticity and diversity works in Monster High.
Awesome. Yeah. And now I think Monster High too appeals to a pretty large age range. You've like kids, tweens, preteens. Do you find it hard to kind of strike that balance, especially maybe with like scarier elements? Have you ever been like, we should tone that down? Or do you think like, could ramp that up a little bit?
There's certainly a balance that we have to strike because it is a pretty wide range group that we're going for. So I wouldn't say there's anything specifically that we've really changed after getting into it, but it is like deciding, what is the type of scary that we're going for? What is the maturity of the themes that we're looking at? And I think that, when we get into the themes of Monster High, we do approach each theme and each idea with a lot of nuance. So it isn't like we're teaching this is good, this is bad, but there's always a complexity to the issues that the characters are facing. And I think there's a certain level of maturity to that, but something that younger kids can actually enjoy as well.
Mhm. Now, when you think about the characters, is there one in particular that you resonate with more or that you feel like I see a little bit of myself in them?
I have to say, I always resonate with Draculaura the most because Draculaura is like me, a bit type A little bit like she wants to have control of a lot of things and make sure everything is perfect and make sure, everything is going just as she had planned. So she is a planner at the core, which I think I am as well. Not very into a lot of spontaneity, which is something that we are trying to help Draculaura with and something I'm learning a lot alongside her. So Draculaura really throughout the season one has been learning, to let go a little bit and to, loosen her control and accept things as they are. And that's been an important lesson to me. And another really interesting thing about Draculaura is, of course, she is a vampire, but she's a vampire who has this secret practice of being a witch. And I think a lot of us can really resonate with that idea of, especially as a kid, feeling like there's something a little bit weird about you or a little bit that's not going to be accepted by your peers or your parents. And then as you really embrace that part of yourself, you can become who you fully are, like Draculaura.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely lessons in every episode that doesn't feel too lessony, right? It still feels fun. It's so vibrant in color, and I love the animation. And now you have a pretty extensive background in animation, and being the mom of two girls, a lot of your work is big in our house. So, how did you get into animation? How did you know that this was going to be like the road for you personally?
From when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a writer. I was absolutely the kid in class that was bringing in like just 20-page stories that I had written when everybody else's was just one kind of like handwritten page. I'm like, listen to this. This is what I have. Loved writing and I really loved cartoons. So there was a point when I realized I knew I wanted to be a writer. And then as I'm watching, SpongeBob or, all those early 2000 cartoons, I was like, wait a minute, maybe this is something that I could write. So I always really connected to cartoons. I felt, less lonely because of cartoons. And I wanted to be able to bring that to a new generation of kids.
And I personally love your work. You're putting a lot of female characters in the forefront, which, again, as a mom of two girls, is so important. And I appreciate everything that you do.
Oh, thank you.
And now this might be a big ask because I know that there was a lot of episodes for season one. Sorry. Do you have a favorite episode or like a top three that we could talk about in no particular order?
Some of my favorites, I'll say Boogie Nightmare is one of my favorites, which is a story about Twyla. Twyla's this amazing character. She loves books. She has autism, and she also has this power to control and manipulate dreams. So in this story, she's been confronted with this night terror in her dream that's kind of been haunting her and giving her bad dreams. And she realizes how she can take control of that dream and change that dream into something nice. And I think that's a really great story. I love how that episode turned out. It was just so much fun. Another one of my favorites is just the pilot where Claudine is accepted into Monster High and she realizes that she is, even though she's been brought up as a human her whole life, she's actually part werewolf as well. So she realizes that, all these feelings that she's had, kind of being different, kind of not being like the other humans around her, are absolutely justified because the authentic true self of her is a werewolf. So she is able to come to Monster High and be accepted into Monster High and find this whole new group of friends who, really resonate with her and accept her just the way she is.
Awesome. Now, for like acceptance, I feel like is a big overarching lesson throughout the series. Is what is the takeaway that you hope, maybe not so much the 7-year-olds, but like the 12 and 13-year-olds who are watching? What are you hoping that they take away after watching Monster High?
I think one of the huge things that is just always the idea of kind of you're great just the way you are. You're a fantastic monster just the way you are. So I think that's something that is really important to the series and not trying to change yourself to fit in, not trying to be like someone else, but really kind of embracing the weirdness inside of you, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that is those are great lessons. And like I said, like I really appreciate it because with my daughter, she's watching it because they're fun. It's monsters, it's vampires, it's bright colored hair, and it's just really fun. But it is a show that can grow with her too. And then you get the preteens and the tweens that are watching it as well, and then they can see themselves in their kind of own school situations maybe.
Oh,
And I
thank
think
you. I'm so glad to hear that.
that's sweet. Yeah. So Monster High season one is on DVD. Can you give us a little tease into season two that's coming?
Well, season two will be out next month, March, on Nickelodeon, and we're going to see a really exciting new location in the monster world. We're going to see some new outfits for our characters. And we're going to see Claudine particularly encounter this new role in her life and this new challenge that she's going to sort of flip upside down and figure out in a whole new way and that's I think really unexpected and going to be really fun for viewers.
Awesome. Well, I know that we are looking forward to continuing the story of Monster High, and so I am sure everyone else is too. So I want to thank you again for taking time to chat with me. Once again, Monster High season one is available on DVD, and thank you so much, Shay. I've had so much fun.
Thank you so much, Kristen. It was great to talk to you.